that's what's more fun for me.
I spent most of my life as an actor.
When you think about Heather Graham today, it's hard to believe that at school she was teased for being a flat-chested theatre geek, because these days she's all grown up and regarded as one of Hollywood's true sex sirens. Heather Graham's name is not synonymous with child-friendly family flicks, but interestingly, this is where her tumultuous career has landed her. I guess it's because her most famous roles are as porn stars in Boogie Nights and The Guru, Agent Felicity Shagwell in Austin Powers 2, as prostitute Mary Kelly in From Hell, and as a stripper/escort in The Hangover. But on top of her innate sexiness, she has a cheeky sense of humour and an ability to tackle intense roles. Growing up in a strict Catholic household, as a child Heather was encouraged to enter a convent and forbidden even to watch The Love Boat. But Heather fell in love with movies after seeing Raiders of the Lost Ark and knew she wanted to become an actress. By 15, she had an agent, and her mother would drive her to auditions despite not approving of Heather's career choice. Heather landed a couple of appearances in Growing Pains and had something of a breakthrough being cast opposite the two Coreys, Haim and Feldman, in Licence to Drive. But unfortunately, her success created tension with her conservative parents, who didn't want her to star in any movies that had sex scenes. So, at the age of 18, Heather packed her bags and moved to Hollywood. Heather's roles often have a dark undertone. However, as an actress, she manages to find light in the subject. In Drugstore Cowboy, she played a doomed drug addict, a performance that saw her nominated for an Independent Spirit Award. She was noticed for her small screen performance in Twin Peaks and her big screen performance in indie hit Swingers. But it was her performance as Roller Girl in Boogie Nights that really got her noticed. The movie starred Mark Wahlberg, Burt Reynolds and Julianne Moore. But Heather still shone playing a young porn star who refused to take her roller skates off for anything.
It's moving but also funny, and the people are pathetic but yet they also have their dignity, and it's very great. It's a very human story. Since it goes over a period of 7 years and you see how different characters go in different directions, and you get a sense of just a person's life and how the choices they make lead them down different paths.
The film saw Heather on skates in every scene, something the self-confessed klutz was first anxious about, but gradually just rolled with it.
It was really fun. It kind of made going to work kind of like playing around. And when you had time off, you could roller skate around the parking lot and stuff, and that was good.
The roller skates might have been fun, but Heather took the part seriously. As part of her research, she and co-star Julianne Moore even spent time on the set of a real porn film. The film was a hit, and the surprise success of Boogie Nights, along with her dedicated performance, propelled Heather into the spotlight.
I didn't really know to this level it would be this big a deal, but I thought it was a great script, and I had a really special feeling about it, but I didn't have any idea that it would have kind of this big effect.
In her next effort, the big budget Lost in Space, there wasn't a porn star in sight. The film was a big screen adaptation of the TV series and gave Heather the chance to play a more serious role as Dr. Judy Robinson, alongside William Hurt, Mimi Rogers and Gary Oldman.
Well, as an actor, to work with William Hurt and Gary Oldman is like a dream come true.
Next, Heather pulled on a pair of tiny hot pants, brushed up on her comedic skills, and danced and shagged her way through Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me.
My first day of work was the Carnaby Street dance scene, and I was like, oh my God, I'm working on this movie, and I was all nervous, and it was just fun to just be doing these goofy dances with Mike, and to Burt Bacharach and Elvis Costello were playing this music, and it seemed really cool. Well, I think it's really fun, and I think his character is really lovable, and I think even though it's full of jokes and funny things, and it's really entertaining, I think it has heart too, and I think that's what I like about it. It's got a lot of heart.
Staying in her comfort zone, Heather then starred opposite Steve Martin and Eddie Murphy in Bowfinger, where she played a struggling actress who tries to sleep her way to the top. Rumour had it that Martin had based Heather's voracious starlet on his ex, Anne Heche, who had recently left him for a woman, Ellen DeGeneres. Ouch. As we've noted, sex is a common theme in Heather's films. On top of her underdressed and oversexed roles, there's been a string of high-profile boyfriends, and a succession of sexually candid interviews revealing her purposeful rebellion against her upbringing. Heather's admitted to loving a dirty joke, so perhaps that's why she decided to work with the Farrelly brothers in Say It Isn't So, a love story in which the boy and girl end up discovering they're related.
I think it's fun because I get to do some kind of, silly, crazy things in this movie, which is good. And I like the whole Farrelly brothers' sense of humor. Why? Because it's sad and sick and twisted and gross.
When Heather took a role opposite Johnny Can Do Nothing Wrong Depp in the Jack the Ripper thriller From Hell, many thought this would be her chance to make it into the big league. Heather's curves were squeezed into a corset, her figure swathed in period frocks, and she had to master a Cockney accent to boot.
It was pretty hard. It was kind of intimidating, but I had a great time with this great dialect coach, and we hung out a lot, and I wrote out all my lines phonetically, so.
Unfortunately, the film was all depth and no depth, and she was back to her usual form in the kinky thriller Killing Me Softly. This film was again ill-received, but that didn't stop Heather's co-star Joseph Fiennes raving about her.
It's been just sheer joy working with her, and it's so important to get that aspect right. For me, that boils down to her brilliance and Kyger's casting and being able to get the dynamics or chemistries, if you like, right. And she's just a joy to work with and incredibly generous and a great sort of sparring partner within a scene.
In 2009, Heather was part of one of the most popular films of the year, The Hangover. It was a blokey buddy flick, but it seems Heather fit in just like one of the boys.
In the movie, I get married to Heather Graham, who plays Jade, hooker with a heart of gold, and she is, how can I say, so hot. Oh my God, I got to make out with her. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. She's also like the chillest, coolest chick. It was so easy to have her around and hang out. She was just like one of the guys. And I think she's hilarious in the movie too.
And luckily, Heather already had all the skills required for her character's profession.
Well, I didn't really have to pole dance in the movie, but I'd already taken these pole dancing classes, so I felt like kind of like a method actress, that I'm playing a stripper and I know how to pole dance. And I went back and took more classes once I got the job.
In The Hangover, Heather plays the mother of a young child, and naturally there had to be real babies in the scenes, which came with its share of challenges.
Well, babies can only work 2 hours, because there's these labor laws, so they would switch them out. And 4 of them were super sweet, and 2 were like really evil devil babies, and they would just cry really hard, and so we would all hope that we would finish the day before they brought the mean ones on.
Mean, evil devil babies aside, the film was a monster and was Heather's first big hit in almost a decade. Turns in Boogie Woogie, the British satire with a stellar ensemble cast, and most recently, kids' film Judy Moody and the Not Bummer Summer saw Heather reassess the important things in her life.
I think the film is just reminding people to have fun. I mean, I think kids can probably relate more to like, oh, you want to have more fun than your friend, But I think as an adult, like, you can watch it and think like, wow, fun should be a priority in my life, and being happy should be a priority, and fun, and it's just kind of reminding you that, yeah, that's very important.
If having fun doing her work is the upside, is there any downside to her career and living in the limelight?
It makes you a little more self-conscious and neurotic about things, but I think it's an alright price to pay to be able to do what I want to do.
Well, it seems the last laugh is on those kids at high school who teased Heather Graham for being a theatre geek. These days, a sexpot. And still in the prime of her career, have a look at The Hangover, another gutsy Heather Graham role. And I think it's her ability to deviate from the norm and take on roles like that that really kept her current. And she continues to keep the cynics guessing. Her latest audience? The family audience. Stay tuned to Star Picks for all the movies you know and the actors you love. Broadcast in glorious high definition with 5.1 surround sound where available. For more of the best in entertainment news, check out your Movie Network channels. Find or follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube and mnc.tv.